Hi everybody, welcome to yet another video. This one is one of our Versus series, so it's the Sata 5000 1.3 RP, and that's versus the Walcom Carbonio 360 Lite, which is now actually been superseded by the Walcom Evo. It's the same gun, it's just that the base of it now they've got air control, so that you can vary the air control at the bottom, and the actual gauge, the digital gauge, slots in the side now. So it's better really, I guess, because it gives it a shorter tail, which can get in the way, particularly if you're doing like lower down on car panels and seals, car seals. It can get in the way, so it is a good upgrade. The rest of the gun, so the spraying etc, is exactly the same, so it's perfectly comparable to this gun as far as performance goes. I really like both of these guns. They're both super fast. If you like fast guns, certainly think about these two. I can't really split the two. I would probably, if I had to pick one of them, as you know, performance wise, I would probably pick the Walcom because it is a bit faster. You'll see when we do these panels that it is faster, although the Sata is super fast as well, but the Walcom is a bit faster. It's just a little bit more of everything. The Sata is going to last you longer, I have no doubt about saying that. I'm not the biggest Sata fan. I do like the guns. I haven't got sort of like a downer on them, but I do think they're a bit oversung sometimes, and I do think they're definitely overpriced. I think the Walcom's overpriced as well. All these guns are getting silly money now. I mean, both of these over here now in the UK are around about 600 GB pounds. Everybody seems to be pitching their guns at that sort of price these days, and I'm not sure why, because you know, I know things have gone up in the world, but they haven't gone up by that much. They seem to bring out a new model and they just really whack the price up. Iwata did exactly the same thing with the WS and LS, the new ones, the Series 2s that they've got out. So both these guns, as I say, are real cannons, so they're super fast. If I had to, as I say, pick one for performance, I'd pick the Walcom, but if I had to pick one to last, I'd pick the Sata. I think it's definitely, you know, definitely built better, and is going to withstand the test of time. I know there's a few components on the Sata that are plastic, the control knobs at the back etc, but I think that's actually quite a good thing, because it means that if you drop it, it absorbs the shock and it just breaks that component, rather than bending the body of the gun, you know, stretching the threads of the gun, because there's not much resistance to it. It just snaps, which is what you want really. So I know a couple of people have said that some of the Satas, it's silly to have plastic bits on them, but I don't think that's a bad idea really. I mean, for a lot of the time you don't realise they're plastic, which has got to mean that it's pretty good plastic. That's what I would guess anyway. But you can see the finish of both of these guns, or we'll do in a second. Absolutely superb finish. So I would have no hesitation about, you know, recommending either of these. This is a U-Pol clear coat, so it's it's an old school clear coat, 2 full coats, and it doesn't run out that well, so it likes being applied wet. So both of these are really useful for that. You'll see in a second when we get the fan size up on the Walcom, you'll see that it puts out a hell of a lot of material, and you'll also see we use the same panels in these Versus, well, normally use the same panels anyway in these Versus videos, so that you can see the speed of these guns, and you can look at older videos of the same panel with the gun you might like or you might have, and you can time them, and you know, you can see the finish I get, and you can see the amount of time it takes for me to do that panel. And when you see this gun coming up now, you will realise just how fast this thing is. As I say, it's a 1.3, so it's perfectly comparable. People say the Sata 1.2 RP 5000 is an absolute animal. The 1.3, as in this video, is just a little bit more of an animal. But you wait until you see the 1.3 HTE Carbonio. It really does put it out. You see the size of the fan there, big wet fan, and you can see the speed that I can move across this panel. Absolutely lightning fast. Thoroughly enjoyable. If you don't like putting a lot of material out, then this gun probably isn't for you, or it might be in 1.1 or 1.2, probably still not, maybe 1.1. But if you like a fast gun that puts out loads of material and gives you a good finish, this is the gun to go for. As I say, the RP would be my in my thinking head. If I had my thinking head on, I would buy the RP. Well, I've bought both of them, haven't I? But you know what I mean. If I had to choose between two, I would buy the RP. The 5000 RP is definitely a less refined, but nicer, in my opinion, nicer gun to use than the X5500 Sata. It's less refined and it's faster, and I think that's why I like it. The Sata, the X5500, if you don't like your guns particularly fast but want a Sata, then that's probably the gun to go for. In a 1.2, an eye pattern of the X5500 would be an ideal gun to go for if you're a little bit more refined and prefer to take your time over your clear coating. I think that would probably be a better one to go for. But there's no doubt that the RP is the one to go for if you want. The 5000 RP is the one to go for if you want a super fast gun. So as per usual with this, you'll see the shots coming up of different stages, and when I say different stages, different times in this clear coat. The outside shots, the inside ones you saw there are obviously straight afterwards. The outside shots are 2 days afterwards. And we got a couple coming up in the sun, which was, I think there were 3. I didn't make a note of it, but I know it was at least the next day. But I think it's two days afterwards, because I had to wait that long for the sun to come out, because we are in the UK and we're pretty sun deprived a lot of the time. But I think you'll agree that the finish on these things is absolutely superb. It's a good finish. There's no shadow of a doubt about that, and it's super fast as well. You would have to be careful of not getting runs. It certainly, I mean, if you're new to painting, you probably wouldn't be contemplating any of these guns anyway, but if you are relatively new and think I want a really good gun, this might be a little bit OTT. I was talking to somebody about a Segola 4600 1.3 XL, and I recommended that with a DVR cap as a really fast gun, and that's probably the only gun I can think of that would hold a candle to these two as far as speed goes. And somebody literally asked me, I think it was yesterday or could have been today, on one of the YouTube threads, to do a 5000 a Sata 4600 v the Walcom, which I will get round to doing, because it would be interesting to see which one of those is faster. I think it's probably the Walcom would be slightly faster, but I'm only going by what I can remember really, and it's only when you try these guns back to back that you do get more of an idea, because you get an idea in your head, or you're doing a certain project, or the weather's slightly different, a different clear coat, and you think, oh no, it's moving pretty quickly, I can move pretty quickly with that, and then another time it doesn't feel like it. So getting them in exactly the same conditions at the same time, I think, is the best way to tell whether these things are a faster gun. But you can't argue with either finish, I don't think, guys. Absolutely superb finish on both of them. There is a slight bit of peel. You will always get a slight bit of peel. I'm not after the flattest of flat finish. If you want a super flat finish, you can use the MP cap on the Walcom. That I've tried that, and that does have a slightly flatter finish. Hardly noticeable really, but it is slightly flatter. You hold the gun a little bit closer and it does allow you to move it faster, but I think that's more to do with the fact that you're holding it closer anyway than anything else really. But yeah, I mean it does certainly make a bit of a difference. A bit like the T110 on the GTI Pro Lite or Techno Pro Lite and the TE10. There is a slight difference between the two as far as they lay clear coat down. I know the TE10 is not normally regarded as a clear coat cap, but it's perfectly capable of that. I've done a video actually of that, doing a bumper, front bumper, or was it back bumper? I can't remember, a bumper anyway. And I thought I'd use the TE10, and I did that, and I was quite surprised. It wasn't particularly slow, I didn't think, and came out really, really well. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the rambling once more. Thanks for watching as always. Bye bye.